Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit Zabby here, back again with Hunter x Hunter. We are on episode 61 and we are finally within the Greed Island game world. We were told that it is like sort of like an MMO kind of system, whereas I was wondering if it was a case of like it was like a more of a cooperative kind of thing where you were kind of, each console kind of had their own little Greed Island world. But no, we're told that it is sort of like an MMO, meaning that you can, no matter where you are on the world, or in the world, I should say, on whatever console, you all get taken to the same place, which is interesting, especially considering the fact that the Phantom Troop picked up their own console and are in there as well. So yeah, I imagine they're going to, meet up at some point. So yeah, Gun, he's already in there. He got the sort of the lowdown on what everything that you need to do to complete the game is. So it's, collecting items, 100 specific ones, turn them into cards, and then put them in the book, right? However, I'm not really sure if that is, I don't think Gon is really going to care about doing that. I mean, I feel like he might do it to some degree, but I'm just trying to think, like, over the course of however many episodes we are in this game, then, you know what I mean? I don't know if by the time Gon ends up getting out, he will have filled the book. I think that is just only to complete the actual game, whereas it, like, with the message that Jean left Gon, it says to get a specific item. So, it's kind of like a different there's a different goal in mind for Gon in this game. So, if he does find that before filling up the entire book, then I imagine he's probably just going to get the hell out of there again, because he doesn't need to stay in there any longer. But regardless, it's going to be cool anyway. It's going to be fun. I'm feeling good about this arc coming up. So yeah, I don't think there's anything else to really talk about, other than there are people in there that have just decided to live within the game and won't come out. So yeah, I imagine there may be some kind of I'm thinking there's probably going to be some fights. So yeah, Kurapika's left to go with the Nostrade family, which is, I guess it's good to keep him away from the Phantom Troop for now anyway. And Leorio's going to do his exam to become a doctor. So yeah, that's all I really need to talk about. I think we're just going to get in episode 61 and see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, episode 61. I am well into this. I love this type of shit. This is awesome. Card games are great. One of my favourite anime of all time. It's actually the anime that actually got me into anime. When I was a kid, there wasn't really a lot of like, you couldn't just go out and watch like all of these like niche different animes and stuff like that. You basically just had to watch the English dubbed of things that were like, licensed over to the West. So one of those things was Yu-Gi-Oh, and I adore that one. At least Duel Monsters, the original first gen, and then GX was alright as well. But then after that, I kind of I wasn't a fan of like the new stuff that it was introducing and things, so I kind of just left it. But it's when it comes to card games and stuff, I'm on board with it, and I love the way this is going so far. So yeah, I'm excited. Okay, so we'll start from the top. Right, so they spawned in empty field. There was no real landmarks, and yeah, my question was like, how big is the world? But then I kind of figured, well, it's called Greed Island, so I figure it's an island. That being said, though, how big of an island? I mean, to what? It like. Well, that's an interesting question in and of itself. Like, how big does a landmass have to be to not be an island anymore? You know what I'm saying? Because technically, like on Earth, we're always surrounded by water, really. So is everything an island? I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I imagine it's. I'd imagine it's fairly big. I mean, there's two cities that we know of. Obviously, well, I guess there's a town and then a city. So Antokiba town is where they're at now, and then there's the Macedora, which is the city of magic, which is interesting. It's weird that guy was talking about, like, if you want that kind of stuff, then you have to go like to Macedora, city of magic. But I'm a bit I don't know, I'm a bit curious on that, because the way that they said that the only way to find these kind of items and stuff is to find them yourself, trade them, or steal them, right? So is Macedora, like the City of Magic, just a place to trade, I suppose? I guess. Because I think when you like find them yourself, like I'm picturing like dungeons and stuff that you need to go in to get them and things like that, you know? Or like, you know, doing things like what they did to get the Gal Guider, which I went back, had a look at, and it said that I'm guessing it's just a food item, but it's interesting. It said it is said to extend life, so I don't know if that's true or anything. It'll be interesting if that's the case, and also if that little lolly girl, who is definitely not a lolly, she's absolutely like way older. She said these young boys. And I know what anime is like for this kind of shit. She looks like that lolly from ReZero, right? I can't remember her name. She was funny though. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. We may get her, because she didn't answer if she was going to join in with this group that they've got going on, right? She just decided to follow Killua and Gun, so it'll be nice to get like a third member of the group, third party, because, you know, obviously with Leo not being there and Kurapika as well, I like the two boys, but I think it's always nice to get, you know, a group of people together, and also just more characters, so that's cool as well. So yeah, when they did come in, oh yeah, wait a minute, I'll finish off my thought. So the extend life thing, I wonder if she's someone that's been in here before and she's done that, but there's also the possibility that she, because I imagine, yeah, I'd imagine she knows Nen. So I wonder if she has, I guess you don't really need to master Zetsu, but Zetsu's not only concealing your concealing like yourself and your aura, but it can also like decrease the time of aging, right? So I wonder if she's just done that a lot. Maybe she's like, maybe it's something that she does, like she's figured out how to use it in a way where it's like maybe like always on, so therefore she like never ages, you know, or just at a very, very slow rate. But yeah, she's definitely older, I guarantee. Right, so yeah, at the very beginning when they were in there, immediately there was a feeling of being watched, and, you know, I figured because everybody could sense that they were being watched, that they were doing it on purpose, and it's, you know, to basically weed them out. Because just like that one guy did when he came in, and then he used the trace thing on Killua, you know, that was explained later on, but the idea is that, you know, when you've got the trace on, you know, keep an eye on where exactly he is, and then you can go back and then steal his cards eventually when he gets them. So yeah, but the spell cards don't do any damage in this. They are just, you know, they're completely for the greed kind of aspect. So yeah, if someone does die, then it is through Nen and not through the actual cards in the game, which is interesting. I mean, I suppose only the spell cards though, because if you're talking about something like the Sword of Truth, I imagine by using that as an item and getting a weapon, you could kill somebody with that, I suppose, right? I'd imagine so anyway. But yeah, so yeah, there was the guy said that there was 40 different types of spells, and he hasn't obviously, you know, not going in to have a look at each and every one of them, which would have been nice, but I guess it's just a case of like we will get to see them all eventually, right? So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they do. I mean, we've seen the food one, which is the Galgaida thing, the spell cards that are like stealing and then tracing people, getting information on them. Stuff like that, and it seems that all of the spells are removed once you leave. So, well, theoretically, I guess you could just leave and then come back like immediately You know what I mean? I suppose it doesn't really work for the steel thing because it's something that happens immediately. Like it's not something that is, it's not something like a curse that's like, you know, completely infecting you like the whole time. But you know, a steel card something that probably just happens like instantly. So it's not like you can. It's not like you can sort of just leave to avoid that. But yeah, there's a leave card as well, which one of the guys brought up. So it says the target person, like you remove them from the island, which I imagine is also leaving the game, right? I'd figure that anyway. So you can forcibly remove someone from a game. If that's the case, why didn't they send in people to do that for the 50 people that decide to be in there? And if that is the case, that's right. That's the reason why I don't trust this group, is because there was around 50 of them that decided to stay in the game. Remember that? And I just think it's too coincidental that there's like 53 of them or whatever they said, and their whole thing is like, oh no, we'll get all these cards and we'll finish the game in 3 months, and then we'll get all of this. We'll be able to split this money. Now, unless their plan was to, like, you know, not just give up and live in the game, but to wait, like, basically every time someone new comes in, like, they try and, like, you know, hire them as a kind of like as protection, but also to send people in to do all the dirty work. I think that's my plan. Like, that's my plan. That's my point that I'm making, why I don't trust them, because I have images of them, like, having all of these people go around getting all of these items, and then once they've got them all, kill them off so that they can get out and then get, like, all of the money. Because you're talking about 53 people, right? There's a 15 billion prize pot which will be split evenly amongst all of them. Now, if all of them were alive at the end of that and it was split, it's still a hell of a lot of money, but I mean, greed, innit? Greed Island. I don't see how these people. I think that because we don't know who it was that actually killed them, and we don't even know if this bomber thing is actually real. It could just be like a thing that they make up to try and keep themselves, like, innocent and keep, you know, eyes off them, kind of thing. So yeah, I don't trust them. I don't trust them in the slightest. And I don't know if that is what Gon figured out or what. Well, he says that he was just getting sick of hearing them bash the game that his dad helped make, right? But I mean, I suppose he is a kid, and he does have this, like, very like, he gets pissed off at certain things, you know what I mean? He gets annoyed like a little kid would, so I guess it's not too, you know, dissimilar. But it might end up helping them out in the long run when shit starts going south and, like, they start betraying the likes of Shithead and stuff, Pooh Heart or whatever the fuck his name is. And yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see what the lolly has to say, what the girl has to say, because I think she has maybe some insight into what goes on, but we'll just have to wait and see about that. So yeah, what else? Shalnok, he wants to go in there. He never said the reason why he wants to go in there, but he says there's some goal in regards to for the Phantom Troop. We saw the little grave that was dedicated to Pakunoda, and I'm wondering if, I don't know, like, I don't think he would have information of getting an item in the game that allows someone to be brought back from the dead. I mean, I'm just getting that, like, out of the way. You know what I mean? So now that I've quoted it, if it does happen, then I called it. If it doesn't, then I don't think I look that much of an idiot. I don't know. I was just putting it together because it you know, it specifically showed Pakunoda's grave. So I you know, I don't know, but you know, we'll just have to wait and see, because he hasn't mentioned why he's going in there. But you know, it just means more Phantom Troop members are going in there, so it's interesting nonetheless. And because I don't think they're that far from the town either, you know, with Shalnok going in, it's possible they could meet up very soon with Gon and Killua, but we'll just have to wait and see about that. So we've got the card ranks explanation thing, how there's obviously, you know, SS, SA, B, C, all the way through to H. That determines the rarity of the card, and then the one next to it is the transformation limit. And they were talking about how the transformation limit goes back up, which was that was a question I had at the end of last episode, because I was like, well, wait a minute, depending on how long this has been going on, unless they reset everything every so often, like, surely it would get to a point where no spells would work ever, because all the transformation limits would be fucking used up, you know what I mean? Like, all of them would be used up. So there's a way to make it go up, and he was talking about it, how after you kill someone, so that's the only way to increase the transformation limit of something, is by killing someone. Yeah, I don't really get the subtitles, because it said something like, let's see if I can find it, but it's where would it be? It'll not be here. It'll be a bit further on, right? In some cases, they kill their target. Yeah, so players who can't obtain cards themselves choose to take them from others. If those players resist, they are killed. When they die, their ring disappears and their cards are lost. However, it increases the transformation limit of that type of card. What type of card? What type of card? I don't know what that means. It doesn't explain what kind of card. It just says choose to take them from others. So steel cards then, I guess? So what, you can only increase the limit, the transformation limit of a steel card. Is that right? Because otherwise I don't know what it means. Like, it doesn't explain, like, I don't think the subtitles are well explained here. Players who can't obtain cards themselves choose to take them from others. If those players resist, they're killed. When they die, their ring disappears and their cards are lost. However, it increases the transformation limit of that type of card. I don't know. Unless it's all of the cards that the person who died did have. Maybe once those cards have disappeared, then every card that did disappear, all of that type of card, all their limits get put up. I don't know. You know, if you guys have a better explanation on that whole thing, then I'd be really appreciated for you guys to help me out with that, because, you know, I don't think the subtitles are that really clear on exactly what goes up, like the transformation limit for what, steel cards or what. I mean, they were talking about how it's basically the whole game was built on like this is the main thing to do, because you're greedy, you take cards from other people. So I guess it would make sense for it just to be steel cards, but then it doesn't. I don't think it's a really good feature to have only steel cards have their transformation limit be able to be increased, whereas other ones, you know, I just think like eventually everything would be used up and you wouldn't be able to use anything anymore, and it would be pointless, right? So I don't know. Yeah, so I wrote down trading information for protection. I feel like that's the kind of guise that the person was, you know, putting up front, was the idea like, we'll give you information on everything and how to play this game in, you know, for protection and joining our group, because if there's more of us, then there's less chance that we're going to die. I think that's the kind of the thing that they put forward. Because we didn't see the guy who took out the one dude by exploding his insides, and this guy just came out of nowhere, I just kind of, yeah, I just don't have any trust in that person. So yeah, so they want to finish in 3 months. 40 different spells. Yeah, traced Killua. Yeah, so he traced Killua. I think that, you know, because Killua left and he hasn't got that information, he doesn't have the information that to leave, you know, to remove the spells. You know, I'm wondering if he's going to be traced, and then that one guy is going to possibly try and get the jump on him, probably because he knows that, you know, he's dangerous and he probably doesn't want him around. So if he knows where he is but Killua doesn't know, you know, the opposite, then yeah, we'll just have to see. That guy got away so fucking... lucky bastard. Killua was going to murder that fucker. God's sake. Right, and yeah, it was nice to see, you know, the boys, especially like Killua, you know what I mean? He's getting embarrassed because, you know, it was completely the opposite way around. Killua got out of the rut of being an assassin and allowing him to be just a normal kid. So, you know, he has a lot to be thankful for in regards to that. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else to really talk about. The cards and stuff. Well, it's 0 through 99, right? They're the restricted slots that you have to fill. So I'd imagine that's the first, like 0 to 99 on the card on the left, like the top left of the card, right? If it's anything under 100, then I guess it's one of those items that you need to collect and fill your book with. And there's also something as well about like how when you leave, all of your free slot stuff is removed. That was just another thing that I was thinking is a bit was a bit fishy. How the guys were like, give us your items before you leave. You know what I mean? And then when you come back in, you'll get them back. But then I guess it wouldn't really work well to betray them now when they haven't even gone out and gotten any of the important cards or anything yet. So I don't know. We'll just, yeah. I just don't trust them. I really fucking don't. Maybe the bomber, like, crew, player killer crew or whatever the fuck is actually a real thing. I still don't trust them though. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what happens with all of that. But that is all I've got for this episode. So thank you for watching. In the description below, I have links to certain things. Discord, you can get yourself over there and join the community. And I also have a Patreon as well. So if you do want to join, support me on Patreon, that'd be very much appreciated. There is a bunch of different tiers and rewards depending on how much you want to support me with. So there's the early access tier for $5 a month. That gives you access to shows a week early, and you get 4 episodes of Hunter x Hunter every week, not just 2 like the general public get. So by the time this comes out on YouTube, if you become an early access tier patron, you'll have access to like episodes beyond episode 100, and you'll have a lot to watch. So I think it's worth it. There's also full length on there, and there's also other tiers where you can pay to get a certain show reacted to as well. So go over there, have a look. But that's all I've got. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.